So welcome to the second bonus session. Did you guys enjoy yesterday's bonus session with all the almost oversimplified getting things done or productivity system? We'll play with that a little bit more in due course. Right now, what we'd like to do is introduce you to what I would call a business game. We're going to turn Johnny's journey into a game that will ingrain the core strategies that will make you into a successful business person. Would you like that, guys? Yes. What I'd like you to do, all of you, is to say, clear your table. All you'll need in front of you right now is 2 pieces of paper, and you can just grab a blank piece of paper. Just grab 2 pieces of paper. And the rest you can just put back in the middle, other people will need them. So you've got 2 pieces of paper. Separate them because you'll be using them simultaneously. One of them, just start drawing Johnny's map. So we'll start off, as always, with the house. Isn't that what we begin with? For now, that's all you need. Once again, someone remind me. Thank you. You reminded me if I even finish my sentence. You're faster than my mind. So, the house represents your office, right? And all the legal implications, all the tax implications, all the red tape you've got to go through, all the business licenses and all that sort of stuff too. Correct? Yes. Once again, someone remind me, where does Johnny go next? Marshes. The marshes. You see, it's now getting kind of simple, right? So, what I'd like you to do is get a coin out or something to symbolize Johnny. Place Johnny on the house. Over the horizon, the marshes are. And this is where he'll be going. If you have your dice, folks, please put your dice on the table also. Please make sure all of you have 1 dice or 1 die. And keep it safe. You'll be using these over the coming week. So you've got Johnny's house. You have a marker for Johnny's house, and you have your die ready, and you have a spare piece of paper to be taking some notes in a moment's time, correct? Yes? Yes. So, where does Johnny go first? Marshes, very good. What happens in the marshes? Market research. Market research, correct. What allows you to roll, how long does he stay in the marshes for? 20 points. 20 points. So, where do you get your points from? The roll of the dice, correct? What gives you the right to roll a die? You must give me a behavior of market research, a simple step that you can do, correct? So, who'd like to be the dice master for this one? And who likes to keep score? You'll be the dice master, right? Grab your die. You got it? Excellent. I'll keep score for the group, and you can keep score individually as well, right? You'll play. Actually, should we do this? Let's play double round. We'll play a group round and an individual round. Okay? Let's do that. So, someone give me a marketing behavior, something specific. Go ahead, Johnny.
Actually find a local hypnotherapist in your area and go and get a session from him.
So, find local hypnotherapists in your local area and go and get a session from him. I'll accept that, although you may have to tell me how you'll find this hypnotherapist, but I'll accept that for now. So, go ahead and roll the die. What do we get? 2.
2.
Okay. Not a bad start. Not a great start, but not a bad start. Here we go. We've got 2 people now.
That's not where you want them.
It's the people.
Oh,
sugar. People. 1, 2. You're correct. I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? Right? So, now I'd like you to all play a private round. That means one you play with yourself in your game. So you're gonna
go ahead and play with yourself.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I would like you to give to the neighbor. Folks, listen here. Martin. What I'd like you to do is turn to your neighbor, tell them 1 marketing research behavior. If they accept it, then you get to roll your die. If they accept it and like it, they'll write it down and keep a note of it for themselves. So it doesn't have to be something we've already talked about. It can be something else also. So feel free to keep notes of what your neighbors are doing, because it might be a good place for you to do that. And then they'll do the same in return. They'll give you a marketing behavior. If you accept it, they get to roll the die and so on. And just get whatever points you get. Off you go. Just 2 seconds. So keep track of your score, folks. Someone else, give me a market research behavior, quickly. Population what? Well, how are you going to find a population of local area? So what are you going to go into, what are you going to type into Google to get the local population? Perfect. He's going to type in population of Cape Town, see what Google brings up, right? Excellent. Roll the die. We get another 2. This is going to be a long time in the marshes. Oh, yeah. All right. So you understand the next round. So you guys play an individual round and we'll come back. Please do as quickly as possible because we have a lot of ground to cover today. When you're done, just look up, please. Was that easy? All right, let's do it again. Another market research paper, quickly. Someone? Anyone? Johnny?
I'm gonna go on Facebook and I'm gonna tap my warm market by asking them if they could fix one thing using hypnosis. What would they want?
So he's going to go to Facebook. He's going to tap his warm market, in other words, the people who are already connected to him in Facebook. And he's going to ask the people connected to him already in Facebook, if there's one thing that could fix in their life, what would it be? I like that. That's a nice behavior, right? Roll the die. Let's see what the god of chance... Oh, the god of chance gives you 1. Sorry. All right, guys. So again, the gist of this, let's do a few more very quickly in public. You guys can then continue your own personal game later on. Just get used to the whole gameplay, yes? So throw some more out. Another market research behavior, quickly.
Keywords, I'm going to find how many hits hypnotherapy has in Amsterdam.
So he's going to find how many hits hypnotherapy has in Amsterdam. Specifically, how are you going to do that?
I'm going to go to Google AdWords.
So he's going to go to Google AdWords, and he's going to do a search in Google AdWords, which is a slightly technical skill, but you have it, obviously, which is good. And he's going to find out what keywords are being searched for in Amsterdam, his local area, for hypnosis. Off you go. 2 again. Have you got loaded dice there? Yeah. I think you may have gone down to the casino and just exchanged them, right? Someone else, quickly, another market research behavior. Someone from over here, maybe. It's a void of interaction. Go ahead. Say again? Get the median income of your area. Excellent. How are you going to find the median income of your area? The thing that's written down in your notes called? So tell her so she can tell me. Wolfram. You may want to write that down in your notes again so you remember it even more. All right? So you're going to do Wolfram. You're going to do a search for the median income in your local area, correct? I would like that. Let's see if we can get some magic. Oh, hurrah! The god of chance loves you. You get 5. Okay, 12 points. You're getting very close. Someone else, quickly. Go ahead. Yep, Bing, fantastic. So everything that people have said with Google already will repeat with Bing, which gives you slightly different search results. Love it. So roll that again. That's a 4. Gods of chance are now happy. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're at 16. We're very close to getting out of these swamps. Someone else. Go ahead.
Go on sites specifically for hypnosis, like hypnotalks.com.
Go to sites where hypnotists come together, like a forum for hypnotists. And what are you going to do there?
Look at other hypnotists in the area and find out what they're doing.
Great. And she's going to look at hypnotists, other hypnotists in her area to find out what they're currently doing. Love it. I think that's a very sensible thing to do. And the god of chance say you get 2 for that. We're so close. We're not out yet, but we're close. Okay, someone else, quickly. Meetup. What are you going to do with Meetup? So you're going to find out, and so you're going to go to meetup.com. You're going to find out whether there's a hypnosis or interested group in your area already. You're going to go there and find out what do these people talk about, when they hang out with each other. Beautiful. I like it. And the god of chance almost likes it. You get 1 point. It's not me, it's him. Blame him. But I like it. I think it's a very good plan. Go ahead.
Medical specialists in the area on Google or Bing.
Perfect. So he's going to look up medical specialists in his area, assuming, of course, you're going to be looking for a more medical hypnosis sort of angle for that. And you're going to look at who's around there so you maybe can talk to them, correct? Let's have a look. And you get 1. Not very encouraging, however. You are through the swamp. Hurrah! Yay! So when you get through the swamp, you get to do your client profile. So we're here right now, right? Do your client profile and move your Johnny across. Yep. Has everyone moved their little Johnny coin across? Beautiful. What happens after Johnny watches the villagers and gets his profile ready? Can you remember? He goes to farmers markets, right? So here we have 1 market, 2 markets, 3, 4, funny one, 5, and 6, right? Draw 6 farmers markets, if you please. And they can be 4-year-old drawings like I have, or 5-year-old drawings like you have. He's more advanced than me. Now, let's do this. Now, you have 6 farmers markets you can play with. What do you need to do in order to be able to do your song and dance at the farmers market? Anyone? You need to give them a reason, right? You have to have a chat with them. So someone, give me one reason why the farmer would allow you to do your song and dance at the farmers market. So in other words, why a doctor or a health food center or wherever would allow you to do a lecture demo at the center. Go ahead.
They're a director and I can make their actors act better.
So they're a director, so you're talking about like a theater company or a filming company, and you can help their actors act better if you're allowed to give them a lecture demo about acting and hypnosis. Is that correct? Beautiful. Now, remember, to see whether or not the company likes this, we're going to roll a die. If it's odd, then you're odd, and they won't like the idea, it's a bit crazy. If it's even, they'll love it, and they'll accept you. So let's have a look. Oh, you're a little bit odd. I'm sorry. It's just one of those random
Good idea,
things,
though.
right? But it's a good idea. Someone else come up with an idea, quickly. Oh, wait a second. Take one of your farmers markets and cross it out. You cannot use that now for this part of the game. Go ahead.
Doctors have your patients and actually start taking responsibility for their health.
So he's going to doctors and he's going to say, look, I'd like to talk to your patients, see if we can get them together, so I can show them how they use the power of the mind to take responsibility for their own health rather than bugging you the whole time with it. Correct? Beautiful. Let's roll the dice. Doctors don't like that one so much, unfortunately. So we'll cross out another building, sadly. Go ahead, Tristan. Raise profits. So who are you talking to and what are you raising profits with? So you're going to go to a massage therapy kind of clinic or whatever, and you're going to talk to the owner and say, I can help you raise your profits. How?
Maybe we could end up working together. You do the body, I do the mind.
So they do the body, you do the mind. So who are you going to give a lecture demo to?
Probably have to be to that person.
Say again?
So that would have to be to that person, right?
Well, the lecture demo, you tend to do it to a group. The whole point of lecture demo is to start getting clients in, right? So the idea is is good. You need to just formulate that a step further, right? Because if I'm an owner, I'm going to go, well, how is this supposed to work? So for example, let's see if we can formulate that into an actual plan. I'm going to a massage therapy clinic and say, I'd like to talk to maybe all your massage therapists and show them how they can use some simple language whilst they're doing the massage to get a better effect with their clients. That's a useful thing, wouldn't it be for them? Yep. Another thing might be, I'd like to talk to some of your clients so they can use your power of the mind to heal more quickly and get more of the massage out of the massage treatment. And you, of course, will get extra kudos because now your treatment is more valuable to them. Do you see how you just frame them in a way that will be acceptable to the owner? Does that make sense? So the idea is good. You need to just take that step forward and think yourself into the shoes of what's in it for me? What do they want? Correct? So go ahead, let's roll the dice. And it's a winner. They love the idea. Put a tick on one of the farmers markets, right? So who's next? Who's another idea? Go ahead.
Sports club professionals, the instructor trainers.
So he's going to go to a sports club. He's going to the coaches and trainers there. And you're going to offer them what? A lecture demo on?
Symbiotically improving the performance to make them look better.
Great. So you're going to show them how to improve their own performance so they can look better in front of their clients, correct?
Right, and then sell myself to do the same for their clients.
And then once they're in the lecture demo and they love you already, they could become good referral partners. Beautiful. What do the gods of chance say? They love the idea. You get another farmer. Fantastic. All right? Next person. Sorry, Jimmy. Keep going. Go on.
Beauty salons.
Beauty salons, yes.
To tell them that to offer to do a lecture demo to their clients to help to improve their self-esteem and weight loss, etc.
Beautiful. So a beauty salon offers to talk to their clients to use hypnosis. Now, you use 2 different niches, which is weight loss or self-esteem. Focus on one. Remember, you've got to go with your USP and then decide, okay, I'm doing weight loss, therefore a beauty salon might help. They make them look beautiful, I make them look slim. Now you're slim and beautiful, right? So do the gods of chance like that one? They love it. You get a 6. Now, Here's a magic thing. When you get a 6, you know what you get?
Extra
You get a
roll.
+1 bonus. Oh, yeah. That means every time you do a song and dance, a lecture demo at one of these farmers markets, whatever the dice roll, you get an extra person for that just because they love you so much in this place. One last one. Let's go in the back here. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go to a karate studio, or,
Karate studio. Yeah.
and I'm gonna tell the instructors how to use conversational hypnosis
Beautiful.
to work with younger kids.
So you're going to talk to you're going to go to like a big martial arts studio. You're going to say, I'd like to talk to your instructors to teach them some simple hypnotic language so they can work better with the kids and the other people they're instructing, correct?
Yep.
Beautiful. Let's see what the God of Chance says. He loves it. So you get another farmer's market. So you now have 4 out of 6 of the farmer's markets, 4 out of 6 places will let you do a lecture demo. Now let's do a little timeout here, folks. Do you notice how much time we've spent here so far? We spent, about a week in the marshes. We spent about a week talking to different people. So we're 2 weeks in, and we still haven't made a penny, have we? But we're making progress, right? Now I want you to remember this, because when you go home, time will pass. You're working every single day towards this, and 2 weeks have passed, and you still haven't made any money, right? If you go home and only work every other day, a month may well pass before you get to this stage. If you work every third day, it may be a month and a half, 2 months. Do you see how the thing works? If you work every single day, it is not uncommon that you'll still spend 2 months before you get a result, right? But you're building towards that result, and this is the important thing for you to remember. Do you understand what I mean by this? Do you see how the kind of game mirrors real life, although the rules have been twisted a little bit? Very good. So now that you have all these things, it's time to do the lecture demo, isn't it?
Right.
So we'll move Johnny from here to the very first hut, farmer's market. Now we have a whole new game starting to be played. What is Johnny going to do at the farmer's market? He's going to do a lecture demo, right? So what is the essence of a lecture demo? You're going to give them an experience. You're going to show them something. You're going to teach them something, a fascinating fact, or you're going to demonstrate something, or you have an experience or give them a hypnotic gift of some sort, correct? I'd like someone to tell me something you could demonstrate to a group, or an experience you could give to the group, or a hypnotic gift that they can take with them when they go home, that they can experience, so that you're allowed to roll the dice in this place. Martin? He's clapping his hands. Oh, there we go. Thank you. So he's going, no, I knew what you meant, but it's funny. So we have to have a light relief, right? So he's going to go in, and he's going to do a magnetic hands induction with the whole group, so they feel the power of the mind as the hands come together. That's a powerful demonstration, isn't it? Yes? Okay, let's see how many people like this one. 5 people love the idea. 5 people follow him out of the farmer's market, and 5 people say, where the hell's the road? So, what does this tell you? You've just made a major business success. However, you made some mistakes in your infrastructure, which means all the success you've just made, you've lost again. And it happens, right? It's happened to you. It's happened to me.
Yep. Still
right?
happens.
It still happens, yeah? You could make $1 million and accidentally set it up in a way that someone else gets $1 million. You go, oh, damn it, I've given too much commission away. Whatever it happens to be, the point is you've got to think about your infrastructure so your business is in the right place. And do not cry over spilled milk. Even though you got your 5 clients and it was so much effort to get those 5 clients, and now you lost them because your infrastructure wasn't there for them, it's just a lesson to go and build your infrastructure, correct? So, to build the infrastructure, Johnny must go home again. Notice how time is still passing. There's a lot of time going on here, right? But he's learning, which is okay. Johnny must build a road to these places, right? It's going to take a roll of dice to get from his house to the huts. So if you're going to roll a die, it'll tell you how many days it'll take you to construct the road. Does that kind of make sense to you guys? So roll a die. Yay! You see this low number is good. He gets 1 day to create the whole road. So he's a fast worker. Now, in order to... let's do that here. So we have the constructing the road right here. And now it's going to take another 4 days to go to each of the other places, or 3 days. So 1 here, 2, and 3. So now all 4 places have a road going to and from it, correct? Mm-hmm. Yes? We still haven't got any clients yet, do we? So now Johnny needs to go from his house back to the farmer's market and start all over again, correct? So we're going to put Johnny on the road. Here's your next rule. In order for Johnny to be able to travel on the road, he must build a relationship with someone. So remember, this is the relationship road right here. What do we do to build a relationship? What do we offer? Value. We offer value, correct? So what is one of the ways to offer value? What's one of the simplest ways?
Fascinating fact.
A fascinating fact or a freebie, right? So let's stick with the fascinating facts for a moment, just because they're easy. Someone give me a fascinating fact about hypnosis or about a niche in hypnosis that you'd be interested in. Someone, anyone.
Sports performance.
That's not a fascinating fact. That sports performance is a label.
Hypnosis is actually
So-
over 150 years old.
So hypnosis is what?
It's actually over 150.
Hypnosis is over 150 years old. So a little bit of history of hypnosis, right? That's a fascinating fact. Might interest some people, correct? So go ahead and roll it. Are we rolling the dice? No, we're on the road. That gives us the right to get over to here. We're back at the lecture demo point. Yay! Right? What do we do here? Lecture demo, do the song and dance. What do we need to do to roll the dice for the lecture demo? You need to demonstrate something or give a gift or give them an experience. So you just said self-hypnosis, correct? So that would be a hypnotic gift, correct? So you're going to teach them self-hypnosis, which is a nice gift they can take home. Let's see how many people loved you for this. 6 people loved you for this. You are on a winner. So now we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. You have just built your list. Guys, give yourselves a round of applause. Right now, you could say that you're in business. Until this point, you've been preparing for business. You've been in a startup phase. You still haven't made any money, so you're still losing money because you're spending money to live and all these other things. However, you have a list. This is the beginnings of a business. A business without a list is not a business at all. There's a lot of people who think they have a business. Bookshops is a classic example. They have people coming through. They have traffic. They do not have a business. Because as soon as the traffic stops, they don't know how to contact their clients and make them an offer anymore. Having a list is the only reliable way to run a business because you can contact, you have the control of when and where you contact the people, your potential clients, to make them an offer. Does that make sense to you guys? So 6 people are there. Now you have a choice to make. Are you going to take them back and see if you can process them, or are you going to keep going?
Keep going.
You're going to keep going?
Yep.
All right, guys, let's keep going. So from here, let's move to the next one. Do you want to put the stickers on here? Actually, you know what? Let's not do it for this round. Let's do it for the next round. That might make it a little easier for them. Yep. There's some extra rules we'll add to you later on. So we are now at the next lecture demo, right? What do we do at lecture demo? We must teach them something. You're going to teach them, you're going to show them something, do a demo, something like that. So you're going to do a demo of what? So you do a demo of pain control. We're going to talk to people who are in pain with a doctor's certificate, I would hope, and bring one of them up, do pain control with them. Everyone goes like, oh, that's amazing. That's right. For the rest of you poor suckers, you'll have to come to my hypnotherapy clinic and pay me for this relief. Oh, so he's saying you're going to just show them how to anesthetize something, but they're not already in pain. All right. This is just important for hypnotherapists, just as an aside. As a rule, I strongly recommend you never work with an existing pain unless you have a doctor's certificate saying it's okay for you to work with that. Because otherwise, you may well be, by masking the pain, you may well allow a problem to become worse, and you'll be responsible for it. That's a very bad thing to be, right? So as a rule, do not work with pain unless the doctor has cleared you for working with pain, and that's just a little aside there. So, oh, very quickly, yes? Yeah, in terms of the intake form, we'll talk more about it. We'll get to that segment. So yes, there's an intake form that will look at all that kind of information. So pain control is a great demo. What do the people think? People love it. 4 people want to follow you home. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 10 people on your list right now. This is fantastic. So now let's go to the next farmer's market. This is the +1 market. So whatever happens, you're going to get an extra person, which is great. So go ahead.
I'm going to teach them 3 points of attention.
He's going to teach them 3 points of attention, which is, I guess, an exercise with their attention to focus around and so on. Beautiful. Do they like it? 3 of them love it. So you had +1, so we have now 4 people. Do you see how the lecture demo starts racking up your list, right? You haven't made any cash yet because you haven't taken them home and done the work yet, but it's getting there, right? So now we have, now we go to the next farmer's market. And what do we have here? Say again? We need another demo or something like that. Go ahead, Jess. A trigger for relaxation. So she's going to do a little induction, give me a little trigger, maybe a little pulling of the finger or something like that.
Something like this.
Pull my finger. Oh. A whole new spin on an old gag, isn't it? No, really, pull my finger. Oh, so great. Do it again. Beautiful. Let's see if they like it. 5 people love the idea. You're on a winner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 19 people. Robin, could you pass me one of the score sheets in the back there? So now we have 19 people on the list. We have 19 people who may well be working with you. They're not necessarily clients yet, but they're on your list. So they're listening to you. All right? Thank you very much. Don't worry. We'll talk you through that later on. I just need the conversion rates, that's all. All right. So we have 19 people, right? We need to get them back to the house to start processing them. So how do you get back to the house? You go on the road, right? Let's put Johnny on the road, everyone. Put Johnny on the road. What gives Johnny the right to travel on the road? A relationship. How do we build relationships? Offer value. What's one of the ways we offer value? A free gift. Okay, what's the free gift going to be?
Subscribe. They provide an email. You provide a report.
What report?
On hypnosis, how to relax using hypnosis.
Okay, so great. So he's going to give a free gift to build a relationship, how to use hypnosis to relax. Is that what you're saying? Yep. Beautiful. So now you've got the right to travel on the road. You come back to this place. Now we introduce the next rule. You ready for this one? This is a fact of business, an absolute fact. Whenever you have a list, a certain percentage of that list will be responsive. In other words, some people will buy and other people will not buy. Fact. The entire list will not always buy unless your list consists of 2 and they're your mother and your father and they want to make you feel better, right? So there's always
Sometimes not even then.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, we'll teach you a lesson to build character. I'm not buying anymore, right? Yeah, you can tell a little about my childhood now, eh? So we have a conversion rate. For the moment, because you're building a house list that you're building a good relationship with and so on, you're going to have a pretty high conversion rate, which we'll call 10%. That means for every 10 people that you have, 1 of them will buy what you want to offer, right? The typical standard, by the way, in marketing is, I believe, 0.5% is a pretty good thing. But for a warm list, 2 to 3% is actually a pretty good result. So 10% means you built a really good relationship because you've physically seen them, they've been physically impressed by you, and then they've continued that being impressed with the relationship being built and so on. Hence, it lifts your percentages up a bit. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah. To keep track of this for now, we're going to say for every 20 people that you get, you'll get $2, and it'll make more sense as the game progresses why we do this, right? So Johnny's back home. He has 19 people, which means you cannot collect any money just yet. Do you see how that works? You need to get 20 people before you collect money just to hit your conversion ratios, right? There will be ways, rest assured, to up your conversion ratios so more people stick around, but we need to learn a little bit more about business before we can do that, right? So now what does Johnny have to do? He's really only got one choice, hasn't he? Go back to the market, do some more lecture demos, collect some more people, right? Where does he have to go back to the market? The road. Here's on the back of the road. What happens on the road? You've got to offer value to build a relationship. Someone give me a fascinating fact to build that relationship with, the value with. Anyone? Fascinating fact. So surgeons are now using pain relief in surgery to use surgery without the use of drugs or diminished drugs. Excellent. If you actually have an article to prove that, that's even more impressive. For those of you who are interested, the University of not Belgium, in Belgium, the University of, where is it? Leuven, I think you think about it. University of Leuven in Belgium has a trial where over 5,000 people have had surgery using what's called hypnosedation, where they use a mild sedative and the bulk of the sedation happens with hypnosis and has great results. A simple article where you just talk about that and maybe even link to the research which showed this becomes very impressive, doesn't it? Right? That gives you the right to travel the road. Where do we go?
+1 market.
Yeah, straight to +1.
The +1, hey, you're smart.
You know what? We'll go
Yep,
with your
question.
card.
Go ahead.
On the road, who is that value being offered to?
Who is the value being offered to on the road? Who do you think? The list. The only people you care about is your potential clients. Right? Those are the only people you care about.
So it's not back to market, to the farms.
Actually, in terms of relationship, you could build more relationship with the farmers as well and so on. For now, it's anyone that's important to you. So initially it'll be the clients, in time it'll be the printers and the market, so on, but you don't need to think about that too much. Right now, think of it as primarily the list that's going to become your clients. Okay? So we're over here now. What do we do when we're at the farmer's market? Come on, guys. 3 of you know this. Please.
Lecture demo.
In order to roll the dice, what have you got to give me? A good idea, exactly. Something you're going to demonstrate, an experience you're going to give them, or a hypnotic gift they can take away, correct? Someone give me one of those 3.
Self-hypnosis.
Someone's already said self-hypnosis, to teach self-hypnosis.
Power of language.
Power of language, for what specifically?
For yoga teachers to end class.
Great. So you're going to teach them the power of language for yoga teachers to improve their classes, yes? Let's see if they like it. 5 of them love it. Now, folks, we've hit our first margin where we can collect money. So you have a choice to make. Do you go home and collect your money and go, yes, or do you keep going and then collect your money afterwards? You keep going. That's it. Roll it over. Love this style, my friends. Love it. All right. Next farmer's market. What do you need to do to do your lecture demo? A group experience, okay? A group induction, fantastic. A group induction, do they like it? 2 of them like it. That's all right. We're collecting some more people. Where do we go next? Next farmer's market. Make sure you move your coins along with me, folks, because this is going to be a lot easier for you to keep track of later on. So, someone else give me something? Johnny. I would use you, but...
Go ahead.
Someone else give me something to demonstrate or do with them or experience with them and so on. Arm catalepsy, fantastic.
Perfect.
You'll do a demonstration, someone comes up, their arm gets stuck, they can't move it. Pretty impressive, right? Roll the die. Yeah, I have to see you roll the die. Wow. +1. You got 7 people. I knew Amir would be rich. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 people. Wonderful. Is that right?
No, you need one more.
One more, exactly.
He's trying to jip you over here.
Yeah, I'm stealing clients.
Yep.
I'm trying to steal
your
clients.
Yeah.
It's a competitive business, you know? All right, where do we go next? Keep
going,
going.
all right.
Fantastic. What happens here? Someone give me an idea, quickly. We had some hands over here.
Fits of laughter.
Fits of laughter. So you get someone to come up on stage, you hypnotize them, make them laugh like a schoolgirl, they can't stop. Everyone goes like, that's amazing, right? It works great. Amir would be my subject for this one.
Yeah.
Let's see how many people love it. 2 people think that's a great idea. 1, 2. You now have something like 35 people on your list. That's an amazing result. You've run out of farmers markets, so where do you have to go?
Back to the road. Relationship road.
Back to the relationship road, exactly. How do you get to travel the relationship road? A fascinating fact. Someone give me a fascinating fact about hypnosis or a hypnotic niche. Come on, folks, let's dig deep here.
Down back there?
Oh, back there, who? Oh, go ahead.
I think the American Medical Association approved hypnosis for use in 1958.
So the American Medical Association approved hypnosis in 1958. Absolutely correct. As a little aside, they have, I think a year or two ago, a few years ago, recanted all public statements before 1960 or 1965, something like that. So that's been rescinded now. However, the fact is still fascinating, therefore we will accept it. We are now home. Now we get to do some hypnotherapy, correct? Now you collect some cash. Folks, you've just made $2. Give yourself a round of applause, folks. You are now officially in business.
Yep.
Up until this point, you've been building your business. You've had a startup phase, you've been in your building phase. You're now officially in business because you've been paid some money, right? You may not have made much money yet, it's $2. Your expenses may be higher than your income. However, you are officially in business now, and that's worth being proud of, isn't it? A question for you guys. How long did it get you to be in business? How long did you have to spend before you were there? 2, maybe 3 weeks. Well, you were 2 weeks just talking to the farmer's market. and you had a lot of going back and forward, this is closer to a month, folks. You've been running around for about a month, doing lecture demos, bringing them back, doing some hypnosis, going back to another lecture demo, going back, building a relationship, doing all these different things. You're running around for about a month, and you've only just started to make an income. Is anyone here disappointed? No. Why not? A little bit. Say again? Perseverance, because you keep going forwards. Once again, hopefully you understand when you go home, this reflects reality quite accurately, right? Unless you know a lot about business and some of the shortcuts, which require experience, there are some people who can start up and get to a 5-figure income in a couple of weeks' time, but they know all the shortcuts and they can really work them. For most of you who do not know those shortcuts, I can't teach you those shortcuts because they would make no sense to you at this point. You need the experience to go through this stuff to understand how to shortcut the whole process. Does that make sense to you guys? And that means initially it's going to take you a lot of time. You'll make mistakes. You'll do your song and dance and your infrastructure will lose them again, right? You'll be going through the ropes and you'll be doing stuff. It'll feel like you're spinning your wheels and it won't be working, yet you're slowly building things up, right?
That's right. And one thing, would you guys like one simple idea that you may have missed, and I want to highlight it, that would help you streamline this process just a little bit for yourselves to reduce the amount of time you have to spend?
Yes.
Yes, please. Oh, thank you. So we watched Johnny going back and forth and back and forth. What if Johnny had spent a day here at home, and then a day on the road, and then a day speaking with a farmer's market, and then a day back on the road and a day back home, and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, instead of what you guys intuitively already knew how to do, of talking to one farmer's market, moving on, talking to another farmer's market, talking to another farmer's market, talking to another farmer's market, and finally taking all those people back home. Isn't that a bit more of an efficient use of your time?
You're going to spend twice as long just traveling the relationship road, which is actually a useful thing at first, just to kind of get the feel for it.
Sure.
But eventually, it gets very tedious going backwards and forwards all the time. Correct?
Correct.
So, what does this relate to? How does it relate to your actual physical practice? So again, automation, exactly. And one of the simplest automations requires no machines, no tools, and no software, anything like that. Would you like to know what it is? Yes. This is one of the biggest mistakes I made when I first started. I made them all, by the way. Yeah, I have. Sorry, I just went down memory lane. I have, yeah. It's just funny, right? So the mistake that I made is I'd book clients in whenever they wanted to come. So I was a 1.5 to 2 hour train ride into town, 1.5 to 2 hour train ride out of town. So I'd take a 2 hour train in, see one client, take the train back out again. 2 days later, I take a 2 hour train ride in, see one client, take the train out again. I probably wasted all the money I got from the client on the train rides, right? So what I would strongly recommend to you guys is, especially when you're beginning, is pick one day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whichever day you want. One day. And then you book all your clients into that one day. The other 4, 5, 6, 7 days of the week, 7 days of the week, one day, 8 days of the week,
Hey.
you see? The Beatles sung about it, so they must be right. The other days of the week, you can spend time building your infrastructure, networking, marketing, building the other stuff in the background that we'll be talking about as we go along. But then one day is dedicated to actually working in your business, whilst the rest of the time you work on your business until the balance point shifts more. Do you see where I'm going with this? It's also a lot cheaper for you because you don't have to rent an office for 5 days a week. You can rent it for just 1 day a week, and as your income improves, you can expand to a further day and another day. It also helps in your positioning, as Joe would say, because when someone says, oh, can I come in on a Tuesday? You go, oh, I'm afraid I'm all booked up this week, but I'm free Monday. What about next Tuesday? No, I'm afraid Tuesdays are popular days. I'm available the Monday after that if you like, right? It ups your status because you're less available. It makes you more exclusive as well. Do you see how that works? So it's cheaper for you, it saves more time for you, it's more time efficient for you, and it can elevate your status all in one. So it's a simple way of automating just by organizing your time. So organizing your time is also a business system. You see where we're going with this? Hence, we talked about some productivity stuff yesterday. Do you have a quick question?
Practicality, how do you have an office 1 day a week? Do you keep your nice chairs or whatever you're using as hypnotherapy?
So practicality, if you only have the office 1 day a week, how do you keep everything nice and simple? Go
I
ahead.
can answer this one. The office I'm currently in is a corporate office. They're an international company called Regis, and they will give you a room for a day rate. And you can do it that way. That's one of the ways that I started with an office. Other ways, ask a...
No, I think what he's meaning is do you have to move your office out again at
Oh,
the end
do you
of the
have to
day
move it
and
in
then
and
put it
out?
back in again afterwards? So where do you store the stuff whilst they're whilst you're
I
not in
have
the
a
office?
full-time office now. However, when I did that, I did simple conversational hypnosis. So 2 chairs is enough for me.
Yeah. When I ran my hypnotherapy clinic, I was in a physiotherapy practice, so it was none of my furniture. I worked in basically two simple chairs, plastic chairs, so they're less comfortable than the chairs you're sitting in right now. It works just fine. Is it as ideal as a nice comfy chair? Of course not. But it's more than adequate. Whilst, remember, we're talking about a shoestring budget approach to building a business, so you don't have a huge amount of cash to invest in it. There will be limitations that come with that. Just like we talked with Tristan, if you can't pick up the phone, you can't afford to have someone pick up the phone for you, that's a limitation based on a limited income, right? As your income increases, you can solve a lot of these problems because your income will solve them for you.
Yeah.
So that's one of the trade-offs you make in order to not have to spend all the money up front. If you've got if you've got like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand to spare to start up your office, then by all means, rent it for the entire week, leave it empty for the entire week, and keep your furniture there. In my opinion, though, it's a very expensive way of storing furniture, right? Does that help? In the back here?
Does it make any sense at all to make house calls?
Does it make any sense at all to make house calls? So here's my take on house calls. I've been asked this before as well. There are 3 problems with house calls. Number 1, there is the travel aspect. You'll be traveling to and from their home and not compensated for it, which means your ineffective or inefficient use of your time. It's kind of like traveling the road the whole time. If they come to you, your time is much more effectively used. Number 2, you are entering someone else's territory. You are now on their turf. It's now on their terms, not on your terms. You're the one who is at the, shall we say, psychological disadvantage, and their defenses, their barriers, will be all the stronger for it, right? It's not impossible to overcome it. I know people who've done that very well. It's a hurdle you're adding to yourself. Number 3, there's a safety issue involved. You're going to the home of a stranger who you don't know, and especially if you're a woman, you don't control the environment, so you don't know what might happen. Especially if the person has bigger psychological issues you don't know about, there is a risk, a safety risk involved with that too, which you can mitigate more in an office by having people around and so on. Do you see where I'm going with this? So for those 3 reasons, I would advise against it. You can do it, and you can be successful with it, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for that reason, okay? Can we just have some microphones here? It seems like a lot of questions are coming up.
So what are the positive strategies for being successful doing house calls?
I don't know because I've never done them,
Okay.
right? I would just say you have to do a lot of pre-framing up front. When I enter the house, if I was going to do it, I haven't done this, but this is what I'm hallucinating, so experience might prove me, I'd have to adapt it maybe to the experience, but I'd have to enter the house, they show me the space and so on. I'd have to switch the frame so I'm now responsible for the conversation, so they are now being responsive to me, to my requests and so on, and I probably couldn't move on until I've tested their compliance thoroughly to get a sense of where are we in the relationship right now. I'd have to have, I have to be in charge of the direction of where the conversation's going. I would have to feel my way through that because I haven't done that before, right? Very quickly.
I can tell you one thing that I have done a few house calls in the very beginning of my career as a hypnotherapist, and I can tell you from experience, it's horrible.
It's not easy.
It's
Actually,
not easy. It's a lot of hard work, and it's so much work getting them out of their own space
Stuff.
because they're physically in their space that it takes 2-3 times more work and sometimes 2-3 times more the time to spend with these people.
Let me put it, just
Yep.
add something there. Personally, I think you're better off working over the phone or over Skype, as we
Yeah.
talked about before,
And
than
that was
visiting them in
what I
their
was
home.
about to say. Yeah, because the phone becomes a separate space
Yeah.
that they sort of...
And actually, a phone is great. It's actually very trance-inducing.
Yeah.
because you're switching the reference points all the way to the hearing. And have you ever noticed when people speak, they blank out the world around them? They can kind of they can wander up and down like zombies, and they don't even see the world around them. The first time I saw someone speaking on a headset, you're not actually speaking on the phone, when the mobile phones were first coming out, I thought I was seeing a crazy person, because she just sat there, staring blank into space, ignoring everyone, going, yep, yep, no, 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 ha, that's so funny. I was going like, what the hell's wrong with this person? Because you could totally see she was divorced from the reality she was in. That's the phone doing it, right? So that would be my recommendation.
The other question I want to ask you is, do you market yourself as just a hypnotherapist, a conversational hypnotherapist, or leave it? Because it's my impression that most people have a little picture in their brains that hypnotherapists are clinical hypnotherapists and have that label in their brains.
The only way you can answer that question is through market research. Right. Different areas will be totally different. You present your message in the terms that your ideal clients will be able to perceive the message. If it's builders, you'll say, I'm a kick-ass hypnotist, right? I'm just kind of hallucinating
Construction workers for
Construction
the Americans,
workers. Sorry, yes. If it's,
I'll translate up here.
If it's executives, then you'll say they might be a clinical hypnotist or an executive hypnotist. Why not? Try it out, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of give you the language for it, because your market research will give you that language. That's why you are doing it.
For instance, like in my golf niche, you can't mention even the word hypnosis, or that you're a hypnotist. I'll say I'm a mental coach, and or a mental game coach, and they're like, oh, okay, cool. But I say the word hypnosis, it's done. So again, that came from market research. I actually failed with a whole bunch of clients to get them as clients, because they're like, oh, you do hypnosis? I don't even believe in that. I don't even want it. And I could have helped them with their game. And oftentimes I did for free and said, oh yeah, I'm a hypnotist, I do some stuff. And they're like, oh, so I said, now I say for my particular coaching clients, I'm a golf, gosh, what do I say? I'm a mental golf improvement specialist or something like that to people. And that's what happens to work for me in my market.
Yeah. So your market will dictate that. Can we pass it over here to Andy again?
Sorry, on the subject of seeing people in your own home, I've been there, done it, worn the T-shirt, as they say, don't do it. Firstly, we're all conditioned, don't go to sleep when you've got a guest in your house.
Right. So let's get off the idea.
If you're in that shoestring budget where you couldn't afford an office, what I found was to get a third party's house. And
that might work too.
Because you've got a neutral place, they're at ease, you're at ease, and you can work efficiently.
That's just another way of having an office, right? You're just renting a friend's office rather than something like that. So let's not get hung up about this particular issue. If you want to do house calls, by all means do so. We're just giving you our experience in terms of the risks, and it's not insurmountable. It's just you're just putting more hurdles in your way, that's all. And by all means, try it out. Don't take our word for it. You may have different experiences to us, in which case, good luck, well done, right? All we can do is offer our experiences, and then it's up to experimentation of the rest. Yeah. Are we good with the questions for now?
Yes.
Excellent. So, Johnny's made some money, and he's a happy chappy, correct? So now we've gone through this whole effort, and it's been about a month of work to just make $2. So not a huge, it just represents it's not a huge amount of work. Why? Because we've got 20 people on our list, but only 10% of them are buying, and so that means only $2 come out of those 20 people, right? Would it not be worth figuring out ways of upping our ratio, increasing our conversion rate? Yes? Would it be worthwhile doing? So that's one of the reasons we came up with the idea of the freebie. So up at this point, we haven't got a freebie yet. All we have is, I'll take your details, and then I'll give you some stuff and whatever. So as soon as you put the velvet rope and the table of gifts in, more people will jump onto your list, which means even though your conversion rates may not switch as much, you have a bigger pool. So we'll lift the conversion rate just to reflect that. The other thing that happens is, and this is a beautiful part of the relationship building that gifts can do, gifts are essentially a whole campaign on their own, right? If you think about it, what is a campaign? You give value, ask my life, and give some value. If you have a free report, which might be 20 pages, with lots of valuable information, that's like sending 20 emails with little bits of valuable information, right? Do you see how that works? If you send them an hour-long video presentation, like a lecture demo you did for someone, that's kind of like doing the lecture demo live, so they get a sense of like, oh, I like this person, I have rapport with this person, I feel good about this person. all of you are here in this room right now because you've bought one product off us in the past before, and that gave you enough faith to want to buy a rather expensive program to come to the Bahamas, which is even more expensive, and be here, correct? So your freebies and later on your products will do a lot of the relationship building for you also. So do you understand the value of the free gifts beyond just increasing your list size? It actually adds a lot of in terms of conversion rates and stuff like that too, right? So now that we've taken the time to build this, we can increase our conversion rates to 15%, so it's a little bit more, and that would mean for each 20 people that we get, we'll get $3. So this row, once we complete it, we've got 15, only needs 5 more people, we'll get $3 more, which is a much better place to be, isn't it?
Yep.
Let's have a look at the time. Ooh, it's 7 o'clock. So we'll have to continue this another time. No! How many of you guys want to keep going? 5 people? 6 people? All right. Here's what we'll do then. Yeah, I love you guys too. So, yeah, we'll call it a day for now. But what we'll do is this. Well, it's okay. We'll give you a chance to play this again. You understand the basic rules of the game, right? You understand what you do in the swamps, correct? Yes. You understand how to open the farmers markets, correct? Yes. You understand how to do the lecture demos and what you need to do to roll the dice to get the lecture demo, yes? Yes. You understand what gives you the right to travel on the road, yes? Yes. You understand the conversion rates, so how you need 20 people before you make $2, correct? Yes. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is when we finish here in a moment's time, those of you who carry on playing, by all means do so. Grab some space outside by the pool, grab a restaurant table, there's a nice little bar in here, go to dinner with each other if you want, bring as much paper as you like, start the whole game again from scratch. In fact, I'd recommend it to all of you. Go to dinner, start the game from scratch with other people. If not, bring a die with you and play it by yourself, and stick to the rules. Say something out loud or write down an idea as you do this. This is a brainstorming tool, if nothing else. The game is designed to install inside you the creativity to run your business. You may have noticed Johnny's hand, Johnny, of course. The game is in honor of Johnny. We've played the game before the seminar here. Well, it's one of the reasons why at one point when the penny dropped, ideas become like a floodgate. Wouldn't that be fair to say? Actually, let's get the microphone. Can we have the microphone up here very quickly before we stop? Just to give you an idea where this is going. So can you give a little bit of experience from going from playing the game, not kind of understanding it, to suddenly it triggering and the floodgates of ideas coming out of it?
You begin to build momentum. And part of it is the actual physical exercise of moving yourself or your character across the board. Mm-hmm. So that the more often it happens, it literally becomes automatic. So all of a sudden you come to the part where you're supposed to offer value or ask for value, and you find yourself listening to yourself come up with another way. And you're like, oh, that was really good. Hey, thanks.
Right.
So all of a sudden it just becomes automatic.
So this is the value of playing the game. You can play it by yourself. It's actually more fun with playing with other people too. So I encourage you to take some paper with you. All it takes is paper, pen, and a die. It's really easy to do. Take it, play with it, become natural with it, because tomorrow all these rules will become at least twice as complicated, maybe 3 times as complicated. So you may as well get used to the rules you have right now. Well, this is how business works. The more successful you become, the more complex it becomes, and it requires more mental effort to kind of master all the pieces of it, otherwise you get lost by it. Would you like to know aside from those people that never even get past the startup phase, would you like to know what the number one reason is why businesses fail, and why they fail within their first, I think it's 3 years, isn't it? Yep. What is the number one reason? Lack of cash flow. And why is that lack of cash flow? Because they are too successful. Let me say that to you again. The number one reason for businesses to fail past the startup phase is they are too successful. They grow to a point where they're trying to do all the things they're trying to do, serving all the clients and having all the product that's lined up and all the rest of it, ruins their cash flow, they run out of money, and they go bankrupt. They go bankrupt because they have too much success, too many clients wanting what they have to offer. And the reason for that is because they haven't managed to deal with the complexities of that business at a higher order level. That is why this game is about to get much more complex. in order for you to be able to cope with a six-figure income business, you're going to have to deal with complexities that are far beyond the scope of a four-figure business or a five-figure business. Do you see where I'm going with this? Yeah. So the game is going to get much more complex specifically for that reason. So the best thing you can do right now is play this game as often as you can between now and tomorrow. So when the rules get more complex, you've got the basis to cope with the greater level of complexity. And that's how your business works too. You master your fundamentals, and then when your business grows to the greater complexity level, you can evolve into that level without running that risk of cash flow killing your business because, ironically, you're too successful. Does that kind of make sense to you guys?
Is that true of the Johnny 2 rather than Johnny 1?
The question is that true of the Johnny 2 as well as the Johnny 1 route? It's true of every type of business. Because it's not where the source of your business is, it's your ability to cope with the demands of your clients. That's the problem. Right? Do you see where we're going with this? Oh, very quickly over here. Can we have the mic over?
It's true of all companies. It's actually about scaling. It's about being able to bring in processes and systems so that you can scale your people, your clients, your money, et cetera, but it's all process driven for everyone, really.
If you're going to say it's a universal principle of business. And as you were saying there, it's a systemic problem. It's what systems are in place. The systems you can get away with at a low level will stop functioning at a high level and will be totally irrelevant at an even higher level. And it's irrelevant where the sources of client is coming from. Okay? You need to be able to scale your system to high levels of complexity. That's why the rules will become more complex. And this game will be exactly the same as it is right now. So you'll have to scale it up, though, to a bigger complexity, and that's what we'll deal with tomorrow. You want to just add something quickly?
Like, here's a quick system that we've added already for you guys. The relationship road, right? That autoresponder.
Right.
Let's say you didn't have an autoresponder. They didn't.
Which
exist
most
for some
hypnotists do not.
Yes. You have to email and contact each of these people all the time individually. With an individual email.
And I've done that,
send out
by
a
the
free
way.
gift. It can be daunting, and so guess what you'll do? You won't do it at all.
Nope. You'll
Right?
start it, you'll do it for about a week, and then you'll get caught up with all the other stuff. You'll leave your other your clients on the back burner, and then the relationship dies. You're strangling the baby at that point.
Yep.
Right? Okay, guys. Yeah. On that happy metaphor, can we deal with this later? Because people need to leave the room. Oh. Okay, come up afterwards when we finish here. Whoa, wait a second, guys. Let's just finish this neatly. So tomorrow morning, let's be back here around 8:30. We'll start at 9 a.m. sharp. Please play this game tonight, even if you do it by yourself, so that you can cope with the next layer of the business, so you can go to that six-figure income. Okay, guys? Have a good night. And come on up whenever you're ready.